Alright, we're back at the top again today here on the road to Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's now week 34. I hope I got that right. But today what we are talking about is something that dragged on all throughout the day of yesterday, October 4th. Mainly because there's something that was revealed, not officially revealed, but it was basically hinted at that there is something to be released that I have been waiting for over a decade for, and that I've been wanting, and I've said I wanted it on this channel before. I actually called it. I straight up called it. Now let me explain. We're gonna pop into Cerebee's Twitter because Gerald Merrick basically is the MVP. He really is, because he sat down, watched the entire 24-hour live stream of the Glimwood Tangle, where Sonia left her camera in there just for 24 hours to see if anything happened, and boy, did something happen. Alrighty, so as we start, of course, we had Morlul being confirmed for Sword and Shield, because Morlul ended up appearing in the Glimwood Forest. That's not, that should have been obvious. It's magical mushrooms, and I feel like Morlul definitely fit in that situation. Phantump was also heard in the live stream, so then Phantump is also confirmed. But then, Phantump was seen in the background, so that basically confirmed it. And then Impidimp, the troll that it is, because Impidimp is basically trolling us this entire time. There's a lot of the times, not counting this one. Impidimp's just walking by. Impidimp actually hasn't even been confirmed yet. Like, we don't even know do we know its abilities? I think we do because of E3. Point being is it hasn't really officially been revealed yet, so maybe that's its own way of revealing it, sort of. We don't know. Anyway, so then a presently unidentified Pokemon ran off the right-hand side of the stream. Now, at this point, this is when people thought, could that actually be a Galarian Ponyta? Because people, here, I'll probably put this up in post editing, but right down below me, but people thought that, like, they animated what could be a Galarian Ponyta, like just a pony in general, because they animated it to match the animation that was on that right side. You couldn't really see it very clearly. But then you would get like Shiinotic, and then you got this one. This is the exact thing I'm talking about with Impidimp. See, with Impidimp basically trolled us the entire time, starting with this one, blocking the screen as the pony right there below its right fang. I wish I could show it. Actually, I can, because I can do it like this. Right here. It's hard to see it, but you can only see its head. But then, when it walked out in the clearing, Impidimp was in the way. It was just so frustrating. But, and then it decided to reveal itself a little bit more on the left. And this is when people went even more crazier, because they were thinking a fairy-type Ponyta. First of all, once again, please don't say that I called this. If this is true, and we get a Pegasus Rapidash, oh my goodness, I'm going to show you footage soon enough on how, like, if this is true that I called it. But that'll be saved for the end, so stick around for that. But then it decided to run across the front of the camera. It was very blurry, you couldn't see it. And then it was the face, as it decided to stick its face in front of the camera. It's just getting crazier and crazier. And then you see the shadow, and then this is after I've already gone to work, and then gone to, eventually sleep, because it was going for 24 hours, and I could have live streamed the entire thing, but I was adulting pretty much. I had things to do, like especially go to work, so couldn't really do it. But this is the other thing. This is the other thing that, Impidimp, why did you have to breathe on the camera? It breathed on the camera as the supposed pony ran right by. Oh my gosh, Impidimp is just, I can't believe you. But then, once again, the pony just ran by too fast, so it was still a little bit blurry. But then, it finally revealed itself. And I'm gonna put another image down here in post-editing of an actual Ponyta. You cannot tell me that does not look similar to Ponyta, like the Fire-type Ponyta. You cannot tell me that doesn't. And then you see the final image of the two of them. Oddly enough, the one on the right doesn't have a tail, and I'm not sure why that is. We're going to see if that ends up being something that we need to look out for, or it could be a gender difference. We don't actually know. You actually can see it right here, as the one on the right doesn't have the tail. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a few things right now. So, long ago, back in, I want to say around 2009, 2010, before Generation 5 was released and stuff was being revealed for that. There were 3 concepts that I wanted. An eagle, a griffin, and a Pegasus. Those 3. Basically because eagles are awesome. And for some reason, I like birds. I'm not sure why I do. Because, I mean, even my draft league team is a bird. It's Staraptor. Of course, you have the griffin and the Pegasus, both of which are, like, mystical beings. And they just... I've always wanted to see that. My first time on the channel mentioning a potential fairy Pegasus Rapidash was back in 2017 during the Alolan 16 leading up to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now that one was a little bit out of it because of course nothing really happened and all that sort, but that's when it was first marked. However, now what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a quick clip of the section of the Kanto version of the Galar Gauntlet, which, by the way, did actually end up being canceled just due to being started too late. I couldn't actually keep up with that, and I would have burned myself out. But we still managed to get the Kanto version up, and let's go ahead and see what I said. It's time to bring back one of the finalists of the Alolan 16. The reason why I'm bringing back Rapidash from the Alolan 16 is because, well, once again, it was actually the Kanto champion and one of the finalists. So if you do remember, it was this design from T4, T3 that made Rapidash into a fairy and a flying type. So it loses its fire type, but that doesn't mean that it can't use fire type moves. Now, we definitely need to find a reason why, as this is a different region from the reason we used in Alola, but the one thing I look at is the Mushroom Forest. There's a lot of fairy-type energy I feel right there. It gives kind of a Lavar City type of feel. That's where, of course, the fairy gym was in Kalos, and I could see that gym in that location being a fairy type as well. But what if the mushrooms gave off enough energy to neutralize Rabidash's fire-type attacks, and it ended up gaining the fairy type from the Mushroom Forest? It is an oddity, but it isn't out of the realm of possibility when you think about it. Now, I know it was kind of a generalization, and it was kind of obvious that a lot of fairy types were going to be in there. They were colorful mushrooms. There's not supposed to be legit colorful mushrooms anywhere else unless there's some sort of energy in an area, but I would like to say that if we do end up getting a fairy flying or fairy fire, that's what I want to see. Fairy Fire is the one I want to see because that's such a great typing, and we already have Fairy and Flying in Togekiss. But if that does actually happen, oh my gosh, I called it. I would have said that I called it. I wanted it back in 2017, I wanted it back in 2010, and in 2019 I said, hey, it could be in this forest, which ended up being Glimwood Forest. Point being is that I called it, and I've been waiting for so long. If it is a Pegasus, you know, I'm saying it right here. Quote me right here. When we get to that live stream that we do for Sword and Shield, I'm using it. I did the same thing in Pokemon White version with Braviary. I had to grind it up 30 levels to reach it, but I used it in my party. And this is one of those situations again. I've been waiting for so long for this. I don't even care what the design is. As long as it is a Pegasus, I will be using it because this is a decade in the making. Now, all we need is the Griffin. Can I get that? I don't know. But if there's anything else that I need to cover, you will know. We will have another stop on the road to Pokemon Sword and Shield. And if you want to join on that hype train, hit the subscribe button to sit right down next to me on this hype train as we're nearing the end. We're actually just almost a month away. But there's still a lot to cover. There's still a lot to go over before we kick off Generation 8. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching. I'll catch you back at the top later on, because that's how you do it.